Welcome, everyone, to Session 6 of the Flat Neverwinter Society. I am retiring from DMing right now. Roll a d20. Everybody roll a d20. Oh. Albert, pick someone to do the recap. Piff, I think. Yeah, Piff. Some say he's still whacking those walls. Yes. Hey, baby boy. All right, so you're following the plants on the wall. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. He's borrowing happiness from later tonight at that rate. All right, so Blake is walking down the hall with his left hand on it. So the plants are lit up right around his hand. Just an ambient glow right in this area. You want to touch the plants? Okay. So they're vines that are growing along the wall. Yeah, and as Blake put his hand to it, flowers opened up and like a glow came from them. Not super, super bright or anything, but bright enough to, it's lighting it up around him. I'm stopping the music. Just on the wall? Okay. Give me a nature roll. That's the way it is. So you reach out and you touch the flower and nothing happens. It stays closed, just like all the other flowers. There's no light coming from it, nothing. Anger. That was it. It's sign language. Okay, what are the rest of you doing? Brian is south. Okay. Mary is up here following along with Valen and Valera. All right, so Brian, you're down here. You want a stealth? All right, give me a stealth roll. So keep in mind that all throughout these caves, except for right around Blake, it's pretty dark. You can kind of make out like what's in front of you and stuff. Like there's a very, very low ambient light, but it's dark. You can't really see far off in the distance and you can't see much. Okay, so then you can see a bit more. It's still super dark, so you're not going to see like intricate details or something. Like if something is written in dark on a dark wall, you're not going to pick it up. You could see silhouettes and stuff, yeah. What? Brian, I don't need to know what you do in your private time. Oh. All right, so you want to move into the big room down there? Or down the hallway? All right. So I'm going to come down here then, and we're going to work on Brian for a second. So, Brian, you step in here, and you can see a large room. There's a 3 on the floor, but you can't see it because it's dark. It's not actually there. It's not actually there. So, inside of the room, Brian, it's dark, just like everything else, but there's like little silhouettes. You can see silhouettes of shapes in there. No. Yeah, you never went through there. No, yeah, right there. Mm-hmm. You can see shapes in the darkness. Like silhouettes of shapes in the darkness in there. Okay, so as you guys keep walking and Blake keeps his hand on the vine, the flowers continue to light up right around where he's touching it. All right. Uh, no, I'll let you. I'll let you stay. At least this many so far. So your left hand is on the wall, Blake? All right, so this corner is lit. Both of them? So both sides of the wall light up now. You keeping your hands on the wall? Both of them? Just the left one? If you keep asking, I'm gonna make you lose your stealth. He lost his stealth because he kept telling the DM where he was. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Alright, so it's lit up through here. I'm fixing it. So, as you go down, Blake, the hallway doesn't feel like it ends. It keeps going. So here, let me... Hang on, let me show you what you see. I couldn't fit it all on one, so I'm gonna move you over there. Oh, I can't. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Give me just a second. There's OrcPub. There's the spreadsheet in Google Drive, but you got to kind of manually do it. Okay, so if you go down and to your right, Blake, you will see the extension of the hallway where it keeps going. I ran out of room, so pretend there's no dead end there. Move down. Come down on the screen and to your right. You'll see your character. So that's where the hallway keeps going. So pretend there's no dead end. So like if you go to your left, that's coming back south. She's not that old. She is. She's pretty old. She's turning 32 next month. All right. So as you walk in here, you can. So as you touch the wall, it lights up the rooms. All those yellows are. They're not lit anymore. I'm lazy. So the wall is lit right here, right around Blake's hand, and you can see that the room is. It has all sorts of tables, and there's like crates and stuff. There's like cabinets and armoires against the walls, and there's piles of just stuff around the room as well. Everything's kind of messy. It looks like it was probably once like set up some way, like the furniture's kind of in an area, but the room's a mess now, and there's stuff everywhere. Okay, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to get to with a perception check? Okay. All right, give me a roll. Give me an investigation roll then. You can do it from wherever. All right, so as you look around the room, nothing seems to jump out at you as being like significantly unique or special or out of place. It all just looks like typical stuff that you would find in a large building that had a lot of people in it. So you see like old scraps of fabric, you can see like silverware, dishes, supplies, just basic stuff. There's crates everywhere. Some of them have the lids up popped off of them, some of them don't. Some of the cabinet doors are hanging open, some of them aren't, but nothing really stands out as being like treasure that's been hidden in there or like special gear or nothing's unusual. It's about what you'd expect as far as basic supplies go in any building. Yeah, so there's vines still covering the walls in here as well. Yeah, so the stuff that people would normally have, like household items almost. It's like somebody took like what would be in a normal peasant's house or like a barracks or something, minus like special armor or weaponry, and they've taken it all and piled a bunch of it in one room. They're kind of overgrowing a few of the objects around the walls and stuff. There's a few vines that extend across the floor a little bit, but otherwise, not really. Okay. What are the rest of y'all doing? Okay. Yeah, she's with you guys. Just still taking notes, still looking at everything, touching, prodding things here and there. She still has her journal out and she's scribbling in it. Okay. If you roll detect evil, does it detect yourself? Hmm. You detect evil and it's right on top of you. You hear in the back of your head a sound. Wee woo, wee woo. You don't detect any. You don't feel you don't feel anything evil. I mean, if you're worried about it, say something to her. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, so that's what you guys see in front of you. It's a cave. There's no windows here. Yeah, Brian, you're stealth. The cave can't see you. Well, there's a wall straight ahead of you. I'm sorry, Brian. I forgot to mention that off to the right you see a bright glow and the sun is rising in the corner. Okay. All right. That's it's investigation, isn't it? I think it is. You don't detect any traps. Oh, diadem. Hmm? So as you step farther down the hallway, Tegan, you start to see among the vines mushrooms growing up out of the floor. Oh, by the way, don't forget Tegan, Brian, and Albert. Excuse me. You guys have inspiration this game, this session. So you guys can roll. You guys can choose to roll with advantage one time. An advantage is where when you're doing a roll with a d20, so a saving throw or something, not a combat roll, but like a saving throw, you can roll two d20s and you take the higher of the two. Okay, give me a nature roll. A what? A 14? As you look at the mushrooms, you don't recognize them. Nothing really stands out about them. They don't, like Brian was trying to detect traps, they don't seem like a trap to you. They just seem like mushrooms that have started growing out of the floor. So they're all over the floor. I know I put them in little spritz, but they're like all over the floor. They're not like literally in the little blocks and stuff. It's just yeah. So no, that's good. That's good. So like, think what would your character do in this situation? Don't just like metagame it, but what would your character actually do? Like a food mushroom. Shiitake. I don't know. I've never smelled a mushroom. They do taste good, though. No, so if you want to smell it, go ahead. Give me a nature roll. Ooh. They don't have a distinct smell. It's not one that you recognize. I don't know what mushrooms are. Fine, I'll Google it. What do mushrooms smell like? Okay, give me just a second. I Googled it. When others say a mushroom smells phenolic, I smell nothing. Or in some instances, this isn't a definition. This is somebody's like forum post. You lean down and you smell it, Brian, and you can distinctly tell it does not smell phallic to you, being well acquainted. Mm-hmm. You might. I mean, you can step around them if you're careful. They're not like everywhere, but they are growing quite plentiful in the hallway. But if you step carefully, you can avoid mushrooms. What is Brian doing? Oh no, he's getting high. Why do you have a microwave in your bedroom? It's Tegan's tin can smells a lot better. Smells. All right, you're going down the hallway. You're going down the hallway. So as you run your hand on the wall, the flowers continue to light up. That's how you get lit, fam. I'm not turning 32 next month. Yes, I've lit up some more area of the hallway. Brian, you follow as well? Okay, so Brian follows and Tegan can't smell him. All right, so as you start walking farther down the hallway, Blake, you start to feel a little queasy. You take 2 points of damage. 2 straight damage. Tegan, you also feel a little upset and you take 3 points of damage. And Brian, you said you turn around? You just move back down the hallway? The other way? He didn't like that you smelled him. The mushroom will remember that. So Brian, you still you started to feel upset, and you also took some damage. You take 2 points of damage as well. Sure. So so you pick a couple of mushrooms, wrap them up, put them in your bag, and you leave. All right. So as you're leaving, you still feel kind of upset. And you take 1 more point of damage. Blake, up to you. Good berries heal how much? 1 HP each? Okay. So as you continue down the hallway, you still feel like kind of sick, kind of upset to your stomach, and you take 4 points of damage. I get the feeling Albert doesn't like mushrooms. Okay. All right, so while you're doing that, you still feel upset. You take a total of 7 damage getting back out of the hallway. What did you want to do? What do you want to do? That's it? Just wait in silence? So Albert, while you were in the room with Mary and they went down that hallway, Mary was just rummaging through stuff, taking notes and stuff. She's got her notebook out on a table. She's scribbling and she's looking at things. Sure, roll investigation. Absolutely. Okay. So you find clothes and stuff and like basic supplies like ropes. You find a few gardening tools of all things, but beyond that, nothing like there's no gold, there's no gems, there's no jewelry. Mary says that she wants to point out that before now she doesn't believe that Piff or anyone else had been in this cave that she's aware of. Piff has been with him for months now, and they just recently came to the New World together. Did he? He knew how to get through the wall? He just cast a spell to try to blow wind around to see if there was a gap in the wall. What I'm saying is I don't know if there's enough evidence to support the claim, but if you think there is... roll persuasion, I guess. Deception's a little different. It's not so much a conversation thing as it is like sure. So deception, this is a good description. So persuasion's where you want someone to agree with something. Deception's where you want them to believe a lie. That's a better way to put it than I was gonna go. Yeah, I think that'd be... Unless you don't believe it and you want Mary to just believe it for fun. Okay, yeah, probably persuasion then. So you got a 15 in persuasion? She eyes you for a second and she goes, I don't know much about him before he was with me, so I can't attest to that. She turns around and you can see from her chest a mushroom is growing. I'm kidding. That's the seed. You're planting mushrooms. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke. All right. Okay. We can see her smiling. Don't think of it as a teleport so much as just that's the hallway continuing. Yeah. So it's not like you walk into a dead end. Excuse me. Mary is continuing to rummage around in this room for now. No, she never had a mushroom in her chest. You hear her voice. Who said that? All right. All right, so you're going down this hallway. Tegan, Albert? All right. Mary's still rummaging around in this room. You're gonna what? Okay. All right, so we'll start with Brian then, because he's closer to my cursor. I'm gonna let Mary, she's gonna be over here. She's gonna be looking down that hallway now and all around in this area. Checking out the little mushroom hallway, not going down it, just looking. I mean, she was in the fight, the same fight as you guys were earlier. She looks at you and goes, "The hallway that made you guys sick? I think it's best to be cautious right now." So Mary looks at you and she goes, "Why don't you roll persuasion?" Did he? Yeah, did he? Okay. So you got a So you got a 21 total? All right. So she looks at you and she goes, "Lucky for you, my family were mushroom farmers for a very long time." I'm kidding. But but I do tend to try to come prepared when I'm traveling into a new land. If you will come with me, I have these vials that are poison resistance potions. If this is a poison that I think it is, this antidote or this resistance potion should help us resist it. But I'm not going alone. Albert really doesn't want to be here. For whatever reason, he does not like mushrooms. If we were 2 seconds into it when you said no mushrooms. Mary goes, "Suit yourself," and she goes back to rummaging around in the room a little more. Yeah, so you guys don't know that. You're up this hallway still. Who said that? All right, so your turn is after that. All right, so Tegan and Blake. Well, Blake can't talk, so Blake is moving down the hallway some more. I've assumed you're still running your hand out. Just hold your hand up if you're still running it on the wall. Okay, that was 2 fingers. I keep using the wrong tool. And it keeps changing the color on me. So the hallway is still getting lit up. All right. You guys might have torches in your packs. I think those come in pretty much everybody's starter kits. Albert, what is that? The teeny tiny can. Yeah. Oh, it's a shot glass. I thought it was like a Coca-Cola for Andre the Giant. All I saw was silver. I thought it was like a tiny Coke can. Like a 5-hour energy. Dragons everywhere. Who knows? It's a room. So, as you go into the room, you see rows of long tables. You see, there's rows of long tables, and you can see plants in pots and holders and all sorts of stuff. Like plants in like plant pots. So, like small trees, shrubs. Some of them are tall, some of them are not. Some of them are growing to the ceiling, some of them are withered and dead. Yes, just like the vines are. What are you trying to do? Just like anything that's okay. Perception. Give me a perception roll. All right, yeah, perception. So, looking around, you notice that the vines on the wall, some of them are actually growing into a few of the pots, and there are some of them are wrapped around some of the plants on the tables near the edge, near the walls. Beyond that, nothing seems out of place to you other than that there are plants growing in a dark cave. I mean, you can see, you can I think you all have dark vision, don't you? So you guys can like see dimly, but you can't make out details and stuff. So like you would be able to tell that there's like a table or something and then like next like when you walk around your house at night and there's like street lights outside, but all the lights are off inside, so you can tell like where your couch is and where your nightstand is and the dog is running around or something, but you can't make out details of them. Like you couldn't. Yes. That's kind of what it looks like. So you can tell that there's like tables and there's stuff on the tables and you can see like there's like outlines of what looks like plants and stuff. But in the darkness by yourself, you can't tell one plant from another. You couldn't identify the plants. It just all blends together. You know they're there, but it all blends together. Okay. Okay. So you're going up that way? There you go. You got it. Okay. Mary says that doesn't sound like a bad idea, and she goes to follow you. So as Mary steps into the room, she lights a torch so she can see better, and then starts taking notes and touching the plants and looking at them and whatnot. She's just scribbling a lot. So you guys can all see in this room pretty well that there's plants all over everything. What? You can do an arcane check if you want to try to sense magic or something. So Arcana is your intelligence. You've got a +1 to it. So roll a d20 and then add 1. All right, so you don't sense any unusual magic about the plants or anything. They're non-magical plants. Sure. Albert? She says, just a moment. I want to look around in here a little bit more first. A health sponge. Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to start with Brian then. Who said that? Okay. All right. Are you trying to like get inspiration for which way you should go, or just thinking about? Okay. All right. So Blake. Okay, Albert. So you can. Oh, yeah, thank you. Sorry. So as you step into the room, you see. No, there's a lot of black objects and shapes everywhere. There's like crates and tables and stuff. It looks very, very similar to the room you guys were in earlier. Very. Well, you'd have to roll. Give me a perception check. You can both do it. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from both checking to see if it looks the same to you or not. It looks nearly identical. You don't see like anything that stands out as being different in this room that was from the other room. So there's not like an object or something that points it out to you. You couldn't tell someone like they're exactly the same without having a picture of each like right in front of you. But nothing stands out as being different. Okay. So you're following still? All right. Go a little more. Okay. So you can see up this way, and you can see over this way. All right. All right. So, Blake, you can see down this hallway. And Albert, you see the guard that you guys left on the ground earlier. The soldier. It's a mirror world. He looks exactly like you left the other guy. Yeah, roll investigation. Are you going to go back and check him out as well? Albert's the only one here, so Albert's the only one that knows that this soldier is here. So as far as Blake's character would be concerned, that would be well, what would your characters do in this situation by themselves? Because you can call it a regroup, but unless you're screaming regroup down all the hallways, like your scout. Okay, all right, fair enough. Albert, what would your guy do? What would Duriel do? Okay, you rolled investigation on that guy though, right? Okay, so he looks exactly like the guy that you guys had left before from the fight. He even has the tattoo on his arm. It was celestial, but the celestial translated into common is FNS. It's in the rectangle with the little triangles on the corners, the triangle things. No, it's celestial. Yeah, it's still there. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go down to Brian. Give me yeah, roll it. There you go. Do that. Yeah, like the whole last session was combat. Okay, Tegan. She's still just been poking at plants. She's, moved around the room a little bit. She's pulled a couple leaves off and pressed them in the pages of her notebook. She hasn't really been talking. She's been very focused. Sure. She says that she's taking notes about everything that she's observing. She's trying to sketch it out really well, describe it as best she can in her words, so that when she goes back and writes her reports, she can compare them with reports from other scholars back at her. I don't remember where she came from. Her place, her college, or whatever it was. What do you want to know? She says that Piff has usually been a pretty quiet and reserved person. He always seems pretty shy in front of people. The way he behaved was actually very shocking. Trying to what? She goes, my limited experiences with Piff so far have led me to believe that he has a good heart. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. This is happening simultaneously while they're away doing their things that they just did, so. Okay. Mary looks at the plant next to her and she goes, "Who said that?" No. Tegan, so you go to there, Tegan? All right. Okay. So Blake, Albert, back to you guys. Okay. All right. Brian? So you're back in the room, right, Brian? Is that it? Do you want to do anything? You guys see Mary look over her shoulder and she has a slight smirk on her face. She so Mary looks at Duriel and goes, "What are you talking about?" Who? She left the room. Well, somebody just ran up going, "Where the fuck is the velour?" She goes, Valera left the room shortly after you guys did. Are you threatening me? Did you find a little drink down those hallways? I'm just suggesting he has a little fire in him he didn't have earlier, and he'd best watch it. Hey, I recognize that flask. What would you like to do? What is Valera doing right now? Before this goes off the rails, what would Valera be doing? Okay, Valera. Okay. Alright, well, Valera's going right now. So, you pass this little stone thingy? Okay. So, as you go past it, you see bars across it, and you can see off into the other side. Are they? Well, if Valera thinks that they look very similar, then they might be. So if you continue on this way... I can't tell how much I cut off. There we go. You don't hear it. You're not up there. What the fuck are you doing? That's fine. This is Valera's turn. I'll stop Valera when it's time to stop Valera. Pop up on what? Alright, so as you approach... What? The look on my face? What was the look on my face? Alright, so as you approach this wall up here, in the darkness you can see kind of a glint on the wall. In the incredibly dim light, you can see kind of a glint on the wall. I'll draw it. I'm gonna draw it in this color. It's like a hint of a glint or something. It's right there on that wall. Not really, no. You can see like a couple spaces on the wall, a few different places kind of glinting, but that's it. Yeah, you can touch it. Sure. Roll investigation. You've got a +3 to it. I think that includes the +3. Yeah, because it's an int-based thing, so you get a +1 to int, and then you get a +2 for being proficient. Yeah. Don't forget, you guys can use your inspiration. You only get it for this session. Oh, well then. All right, Miss Inspired enough already. You run your fingers over them, and they feel like solid shapes carved into the wall, and they distinctly feel different. They're smooth. They're cold, but they're smooth. They have little ridges in them, almost like you're running on your dice, and it has like the little. They can't see that at all. Like the little ridge on the dice. So it's got little ridges like that, and they're smooth. They're in different shapes, like a triangle. They're circles. They're round. There's a few of them. It's like, so you can feel the rough stone wall, and then you feel like a lip, and then you feel like the smoothness, like a ridge that comes out, and then it's flat, and then it's like the ridge is, how would I describe it? I'm gonna, hold on, I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna reveal a little area off to the side here, and I'm gonna draw it. So it would be like if this is like the lip, like it's a little rough. Inside of the lip would be like, so like this would be like a slanted ridge. This is what it would feel. So like these edges here would be like, so like this part right here would be slanting down into the rock, like away from you. This part right here would be flat. It's right. So these are like, it's smooth. This is smooth. It's cold. The stone around it is not. The stone feels distinctly different. It's like someone took a gemstone. It feels like a gemstone that someone just shoved straight into the wall. It is different from the wall. It is. Let me see what kind of a check that would be. And not if you're actually physically trying to do something. Because your unnatural 20 was for like checking it out. I mean, your unnatural 20 feels, it feels pretty solid in there when you're touching it. It doesn't have like wiggle to it. But if you want to actually try to dislodge it, give me a, let me see what I want to use for that. I almost want to do strength, but I don't know if that's best for something so small. Yeah, sure. I'll do that one. We'll go with that. Do the dexterity. Just do a straight yeah, just do a straight dex for now. I don't know what would better fit. So just give me a straight dex roll. Plus your dex modifier. You always add your, if you're doing a stat check, you add your stat modifier. Yeah, you can use your inspiration. I'll let you do it for this. You should call it for in the future, call it first before you use it, but I'll let you do it this time. We'll find out if you go with it. So, actually, I got a question for you guys then. Before you make your roll, your inspiration. So in fifth edition, inspiration lets you roll with advantage. I think in, so yeah. So you would, what you do with it is when you roll with advantage, is you roll two d20s at the same time and you take the higher one. But you have to call that you're using your inspiration beforehand, or if you're rolling in a situation with advantage beforehand, you don't get to roll a d20, and then if it's good, take it, and then choose to reroll if you want to. In fourth edition, it lets you you wouldn't add them, but oh yeah. Oh, I got you. In fourth edition, they had action points, and an action point would let you re-roll a check. Which one would you guys like to do? Um, okay, so we'll do that then. We'll play it. We'll play it like that for now. Your inspiration acts as a reroll, not as rolling with advantage. I think this. I think the reroll is a little more forgiving. Sure. It's not a natural one. You are still in the other room. So you are not able to dislodge it out. You can't really get the dagger blade in between the gemstone feeling thing and the rock wall. Okay. So as you walk back, we will go back to everyone else in this room over here, including Brian, who hasn't moved out into the hallway yet. Okay. So you're going up to this hallway now, though, right, Brian? Okay. Okay. All right. So Albert, what are you going to be doing? All right. So you're just going to hang out in the room that Mary's in. Okay. All right. So while all this is happening, after Blake and Brian leave, Mary looks at you and she goes, "What drives you?" But why did you come out here? Was it just for the pay? Were you looking for something? Mary shows him her mushroom. Mary pauses for a second and she goes, "I came out here for knowledge." She goes, "I think there's a lot that we can learn out here, both about ourselves and about this world. And I hope to find out what that is." And then she turns back to the plant she was looking at and continues taking notes. That was the pop noise. All right. So, Brian, you're going down this hall and you see stairs going down. So, you're going to start heading back. All right. So, while you're heading back, Blake, you're continuing down your hallway. All right. How far down are you going to go? Okay. You just stop there. And Tegan, you were turned around coming back, right? All right. So, Blake, as you get to that part, you start to hear footsteps around the corner. Whoa. Where do you think he gets the good berries? His mom. Those are such good little berries, yes they are. You take 6 damage? No, no. So, as you get to this part of the hallway, Blake, you hear footsteps, and then Tegan, I assume you're going that way? You hear Tegan comes around the corner. Valera. No. Valera, in your own words, describe what you saw. Okay. Tegan, I should have told you that the hallway continued to your left. Sorry, I didn't. I forgot to reveal the area. Okay, all right. I forgot to reveal the area. I didn't think about it. Okay, so you're going to head back into the room, and Blake, you're going up there to check out the wall. Okay. So, since you have produced flameouts, I assume, still, you can actually, you've lit up the area a bit. You can see what looks like almost like a carving of a tree in the wall. And in the branches of the tree are different gemstones. And in one part of the trunk of the tree is a slightly larger gemstone. As you touch it, it's almost like the gemstones glitter a little bit. They glisten. It's very subtle. You almost don't think it happened. And you can't tell if it's from your touch or if it's just from the flame in your hand flickering. Sure. You don't sense anything magical other than your magic you're using. Give me a. You just pushing it lightly, or are you like pushing hard, or? All right. Give me an investigate or dexterity for that. Okay. You push on. He's really accurate. He pushes the right one. Uh, you push on it and it doesn't budge. It doesn't seem to move at all. Like touching it. I mean, it feels smooth. It feels cold. Can you take it out? Give me a strength check. It's glistening. It was already glistening in the light of Blake's flame. And when he touched it, it seemed like it glistened a little more, but he's not sure if that's from his flame or just from his touch. It's like it's literally like somebody. It looks and it feels like somebody took a gemstone, like a polished cut gemstone, and shoved it into the wall. How do you think they found him in that shape? So Blake wants to. Yes, I heard. Thank you. Um, it doesn't budge. Do you want to try to set it on fire? Is that what you want to do? I mean, it's a gemstone stuck in a wall. What are you trying to figure out? Just anything unusual, anything abnormal? I don't know if that would be investigation. I think that would be. I'm gonna use insight for it. Well, no, that. I guess that would be. Well, I'm trying to think between wisdom and intelligence. Fine, fine, go with it. I made the call. Go with it. Well, you don't remember seeing this specific symbol or carving or anything like that in your dream, but it does remind you of the tree with the gems hanging from the branches. And I will tell you that the gemstone in the trunk of the tree is roughly placed about where you think that the altar thing was in the tree in your dream. Okay, all right, we're gonna come back down to Tegan going into the room with uh, Valera re-entering the room and Howell entering the room. You want to convince Mary to go with you, or ask her to? Where are you headed to? Okay. Mary says, "That sounds intriguing. Show me where this was at." And she goes to follow you. She's still carrying her torch. That's what I heard. You should stay with Howell. Howell about you follow Howell. All right, so we're going to come back to Brian and Albert then. So you guys are going to go down the staircase? All right. So you go down the stairs and they go down for a little ways and then you come to a rock fall and you can't proceed past it. That's it. You just want to turn around and go back? Was that weed that you microwaved earlier? All right, so Albert, you want to move the boulders? All right, give me a strength check. This is not, no, don't play Despacito. Okay. Ah, wow, that's much better. So you're able to pick up some of the medium-sized boulders and get them out of the way, but there's just more rock fall beyond that. All right, so while y'all are trying to follow back and catch up, Valera and Mary are ahead of you guys, so you guys are heading down the hallway back to the tree thing? You're sprinting the whole time? All right, well, if you're sprinting, you can do that. All right. You want to do half and half? You want to do half and half? Like one arm behind you and the other one in front of you swinging? Yeah, you don't want to dab down the hallway? All right, so Valera and Mary are heading back up the hallway. Valen, while that's happening, what were you doing before they get back up there? All right. You all right? Okay. So you get to the end of this hallway and you see stairs going up. So you're going to go up? All right. So Valera and Mary get back up to this wall. So Mary looks at it and she goes, "This is fascinating. I think I've seen something like it before, but I don't remember where." Well, she's sketching it right now. She's sketching it into her journal right now. Oh, she goes, "No, I don't have anything like that in this notebook. This notebook was empty when I started on this journey." And you can see that she's over halfway through the book so far. Um, she said, "I think it's something that I read back at the college. I want to say it was a religion book, a book on old religions." Why are you pointing at Brian? So she looks at them and she said, "These." Oh my gosh. She said they look just like normal gemstones. She can't detect anything unusual about them. Nothing seems odd about them. They just seem like normal gemstones that you'd find in jewelry, just bigger and shoved into a wall. She thinks it's connected to something religious that she read in a book back at the college, but beyond that, no. Okay. So all this is happening. Duriel and Howell are catching up, going down the hallway. Oh gosh, I moved the wrong piece. You what? All right, so you get back up there and you see Mary still sketching, standing next to the wall, sketching and taking little notes, scribbling notes. Oh. Especially while you drink out of that tiny can. So do y'all just hang out there with Mary? Okay, so you want to try to get the gems out of the wall. All right, give me a strength check. I guess Valera's continuing down the hallway. Yes. Just do what you want. The gem does not budge in the wall. Go for it. If you want to try to get it out with your dagger, I'll let you use your dex. You're gonna throw daggers at it? It doesn't budge. One more time. As you are, I'm guessing you're using your axe to do this. Okay, as you were slamming your fists into the wall to get this gemstone out, the gemstone doesn't budge, but you chip the lip of the wall around where the gemstone is, just a tiny bit. Mary looks at the damage and she goes, and writes some notes down. Okay, so Valera continued down the hallway. Valera continued down the hallway. Well, is that what you were doing? So you get to the stairs as well. You see stairs going up. So you can see a slight flicker at the top of the stairs. So Mary's following behind. All right. So you're all going up the stairs now, following the devilish light. All right, so Valen is in the front. And as he gets up to the top, he comes out into a hallway. Looking to his left, he sees a giant room with a large tree. And in the center of the tree is what looks like, glistening in the flame from his light, precious metals that form an altar. Do you need a refresher? All right, I'm going to send you a refresher real quick and I'll let you choose what to include. Yeah. Cuz I don't want to just say it and give stuff away that you don't want to share. Cuz this was your dream. Eventually, maybe. Sure. Sure, you can start walking in the room, and that is where we're going to end it tonight. This is much easier than planning combat every session.